tasting is, wow. Tasting chocolate, tasting is such a, boy, there's all sorts of things we can taste, isn't there? It's a great, it's a fun process. It's a personal process, I think. And I've always felt that taste has memory. Whenever you taste something and it's really, really good, you remember that taste and that flavor. If it's a particular product, of any type of product, and you go back to that product and you taste it and it doesn't taste the same, you remember that. It's amazing that taste has memory. But when we taste, you know, how do we taste? I guess we taste with our eyes and our ears even. And of course our mouth and all of the sensory things. With the eyes, we look at the color of the chocolate. The ears, well, how do we taste with our ears? Well, the snap of the chocolate, how well it's been tempered, will indicate whether it's soft, whether it's been tempered properly, and so that helps us and sets us up. And what the great, most sensory thing, and I think one of the things that everybody realizes and that makes chocolate so sensual is what? Yeah, it melts. It melts at body temperature. You know, how beautiful is that? I mean, to have a food that's in solid form and you put it in your mouth and your body temperature melts it. So the melt of the chocolate, the way it melts in your mouth, I think is important. But we want to try and get by that, and we want to try and look at behind that veil of melty, smoothie, sensual, and get into the taste and flavors. So I kind of, you know, I have kind of my own. I think everybody has their own ideas about tasting. But what's the, you know, the first thing that when we taste, you know, what is the, you know, what do? We relate chocolate or we relate flavors to something we know. You might, you know, feel it is kind of spicy, or maybe it tastes like bananas. A lot of people, if it's astringent, they say, well, it kind of has like a banana peel kind of thing, because banana peel is a little bit astringent. So we associate flavors with things that we know. So when you eat the chocolate, you'll taste these things that you will relate to fruit, or you might relate to a tobacco-y kind of flavor, or a coconut kind of flavor. These are things that we can relate to as other flavors. The other thing that I think we think about, at least I do, is colors. I relate some flavors to colors, and whether it's colors as they're related to the particular fruit that it tastes like. If it tastes like a cherry, you're going to think that's kind of a red color. Or that if the color comes first, then you're thinking, God, you know, that it's got a reddish kind of hue to me, you know, and then maybe that'll help you figure out where the natural flavor is coming from. Or it might be a very unique and different type of flavor. And then the other thing that and my favorite, the way I look at it, in a way I feel like I'm trying to orchestrate, because really our business, though the excitement has been in the area of origins, the real fun is in the blending of the flavors and putting them together into a larger, more dynamic experience. And in going through a tasting with a particular chocolate, I think of musical notes, whether they're high notes, whether they're in the violin area, or whether they're the low notes in the drum, in the base area. So I see flavors, and I think one of the easiest ways to look at, especially chocolate, because it's such a darn powerful flavor. It's so powerful that it's hard sometimes to understand and see where these flavors are coming from. Tasting chocolate liquor, which I do a lot of, because that's how we assess all the samples we get. We make little samples, we get little liquor, and we taste it. It's hard. It's not easy. Sugar helps to display flavor. So sugar is like putting it on a slide in a way, and being able to look at flavor on a slide. So if you have trouble with the 70%, picking up that flavor would be a lot easier to do if it were a 60% or a 55%, but geez, you can't do that. That means you're not a chocolate expert if you don't eat 70 or 80%. Anyway, but the fact is that it's not easy to taste properly the high content cacaos. So the sugar helps to display the flavor, to help you discern the flavor. The cocoa butter helps to mild out and help you discern the flavor. So these are important areas. And if you come away with anything today, will be the notion of the percentages are a combination of the added liquor, unsweetened baking chocolate, as well as the cocoa butter. And how do we get cocoa butter? We take some chocolate liquor and we press it and separate out the fat from the solid. Then we have our cocoa powder that we can sell to bakers and people like that. And we have the cocoa butter that we can add back into the chocolate if we need to. But technically speaking, with chefs and people like that, that's the rheology of chocolate, the way it flows, the way some people, do you like a candy with a real thick chocolate on it? Or do you like a candy with a nice, beautiful, thin shell? I mean, I like the thin shell. I don't like a real thick shell on my bonbon. But that is rheology. That's going to have a little more cocoa butter, maybe even more liquor to a certain degree. But that's rheology. So rheology is very important in our business because we sell to people that buy it for technical reasons. So we're very careful to always be on spec, on our products. Thank you for your patience and your focus. And hopefully you've learned something. Thanks.